Okay, guys, what I'm going to talk to you today is layers of learning. I'm not going to do a comprehensive talk about like what is layers of learning because frankly I'm not using the whole curriculum. I am literally just using the small portion. There is an amazing YouTube account, Ode to a Boat, that did a really comprehensive flip through of all things layers in learning. Like she kind of like walks you through a huge portion of what it's about. That is not what I'm going to do today. Right now I'm just going to share what I personally purchased and how I'm approaching it, because on Instagram I've been getting a lot of questions on it, so I figured I should probably do an in-depth discussion on what it is, at least what mine looks like, and how I'm approaching it and what so far I am incorporating with it. Okay, so I am doing the geography, and within the geography, people and places, and within that, Central America. So if you want to know what other places are included under the people and place series, they are listed right over here. Okay, so when you print this out, it doesn't print out to like a whole bunch of pages. So you can get this digitally or you can get like a hard copy. I just chose digitally because I'm impatient and that's what I do. So I just printed it out myself. So this may not look like a lot, but it's actually chock full of a ton of stuff. Okay, so once you flip it, you're introduced to kind of like the opening of it. Now, this is a very loosey-goosey curriculum. It's not structured. It doesn't say day 1, do this, day 2, do this, day 3. It's more kind of like a resource spine. And you can pull from this what you want. You can incorporate whatever books you want, and then it gives you activities to do. It will have a book recommendation. It will have all that kind of stuff. It has vocabulary in there for you. And this is the entire vocabulary for the entire unit. So what I did with that is I just took like the first 1/3 of it, and we're working our way through it up there. And I just made them into note cards and I put them up on the board. And then as we continue to go through the curriculum, I will make new flashcards and put them up there. So in the very beginning, it's kind of introducing you into what is Central America, the countries that consist of Central America, vocabulary, and some geographical terms over here that you are going to be focusing on. Okay, and then on this side, you have your book list. And I'm trying to get really close so you guys can see. But do you see how it's color-coded? You have that orangey yellow, and then the green, and then the blue. Well, here's the code. So for ages 6 to 9, it is yellow, and then green is 10 to 13, and so on and so on. So if you want books geared towards specific age groups, then you just have to look at that. And they provide a huge amount of books here for you to get. And then usually along the sidebars, there are additional book recommendations that aren't listed in here. But if you want to go deeper into some areas, like you see on this next page, there's additional book recommendations in there. Now, just be forewarned that a lot of these books I couldn't get from the library, and I didn't want to purchase them necessarily either. So, I mean, I may have purchased 1 or 2 from here, but for the majority, if I didn't have it in the library, I didn't get it. But what's awesome about this curriculum is you don't have to use their exact books that they are recommending here, because it's not like it's giving you reading comprehension questions. It's not giving you a study guide to go along with the book. It's not really giving you much of anything. It's just kind of saying, hey, these are some books on these topics that you may want to look into specific to these countries. So what you can do instead is you can go to your library and you can just look for them on your own, something similar to it, which is what I did. So I went ahead and I just picked up for the first 3 or 4 countries, and this is gonna take us probably like 3 or 4 months, like, you know, and I'm probably gonna have to recheck it out from the library again because I can only hold them for like 3 months. So I didn't get any for any of the other countries, but I do have Guatemala in there. I picked up on Panama, El Salvador, another one on Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Okay, so I picked up those books. They are basic country fact books that just has everything about the country. So the political climate, the environment, so the geographical, the political, culture, lifestyle, foods, like things of that sort. Just something that would give us more information on that. So in addition to that, there are picture book recommendations all throughout. And I have a huge stack of like picture books that I need to dive into. That again, if you're following me on Instagram, I did a whole reel where I'm doing cultural studies and I have a bunch of books, picture books, novel books, historical fiction, everything. And so I'm just going to interweave it into this. And this is why I picked Central America. So I'm just going to interweave it into what I'm already doing. So when you guys see like the stuff that I'm doing on Instagram and you guys are asking questions, half of it is the curriculum. The other half is just my stuff. I'm just incorporating it in because it flows and matches well. So now we're turning the page, and the curriculum does provide you with a bunch of blackline masters. So you have like this country fact file in here for all the different countries that you can use to fill out information for. Yeah, they call it the country fact sheet. And then you have also some maps. They provide maps that you can map out the climate, the industry, the population. You can insert facts and stuff. So basically it's just a map template. And at the bottom, there's a key in there, and then you can go and fill that in on that map. And so that's what the first couple pages are like. And then the rest of the curriculum, it kind of starts off kind of just doing a general overview on Central America and topics like migration, immigration, emigration, political migrants, economic migrants, environmental migrants, in terms of the major pull factors for migrants wanting to move. Of course, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but the main reasons the curriculum list is as those three, and then it gives you like a little activity to do down there. And that's what we did. So then my son, he went ahead and he did it, and this is what it looks like. So you kind of like pull out and you do that. And then these are mine, and I just did it for him to cut out and include in his notebook. And then he has his map for Central America that he filled in, because we're going to work consistently over the year to make sure that we are taking away which 7 countries are included and where they're included. So I am glad that I have the digital copy of this, because it's something I'm going to be printing out over and over again as we hone that in. So throughout on the sidebar, you're going to notice a lot of rabbit trails that you can go under. So you can see it recommends Frida as this one, as migrants struggling to form a new identity in the new places that they migrate to. And then you have each one of these. So this is an activity down here to do. And then this is another activity here to do. And you'll notice that it's color coded there as well. So you can choose, so you see it's for all ages. And then along the sides, you have other books and stuff that you can do. And they also have science units. So every now and then you're going to see a recommendation that ties into one of their science units that they currently offer. So then you have other book recommendations again here, and then you have another activity that you can do. Now this one is specific to a book. So this one's specific to Going North, this book. And then this is an activity that you can do for that book. But really you can apply it to any migrant story, And then you have another one here on asylum seekers and refugees. Let me flip the page. And this is like a diorama box that you can do. And then other optional activities that you can do. Here's one where you're creating your own passport. And then I believe it starts to get into country specific stuff. Yep. Here's Nicaragua, and here's some books that you can get to focus in on that. And then you also, let me get closer. You also have other activities that you can do specific to Nicaragua. So like you can study Lake Nicaragua's sharks, and then there's additional stuff off to the side. And then you can do this activity if you want to. And then you can explore Land of Fire and volcanoes, because it has a lot of volcanoes there. And so then you can go ahead and do this cookie dough map and all sorts of things. So then it's going to take you country by country. So then you have Panama. So you're probably going to be focusing on the Panama Canal. And then you're going to go ahead. You have all these books and stuff to do. And that is the flow for the rest of the curriculum. So now different activities you can do, and they'll provide the templates for you. And then here's El Salvador. Here's a recipe you can do, specific books, specific birds, activity that you can do, book recommendation. You're going to look at some of the architecture from there. So, and that's essentially what the whole entire curriculum is. And it's going through and giving you craft ideas. So in the very beginning, it just kind of gives you a general overview on the specific terms you're going to be focusing on and specific geographical features unique to Central America. Did I say Central Pennsylvania early? I live in Central Pennsylvania, so I hope I didn't say Central Pennsylvania. Central America, so it kind of had like a general overview, and then it goes into the specific countries. So how am I using this? I'm incorporating other picture books. I'm incorporating other read alouds. I am utilizing the maps and stuff that they provide. I'm also using my own outside resources like from Jack and Link, the dry erase boards. I'm incorporating YouTube, and we're watching videos and stuff. They also provide like a video list specific to Central America, but it doesn't have a lot of videos in there. And so I am supplementing, and I'm adding in other videos as well. So how I approach this is we're doing this once, maybe twice a week, and we're just really moving slowly through it. I will pull something out from here. Right now, we're really kind of still focused on the vocabulary and geographical features and making salt dome maps and focusing on that. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just slowly moving through it. We're reading read alouds. Like right now, we're in the middle of reading through this book, and it's a fairly easy read, but what's taking us a long time is that it has amazing Spanish vocabulary. So we read 5 chapters a week, and we're not going to be done with this for probably 2 more weeks because I think there's about 20 chapters or so. I could finish this easy in 1 week, but we're taking it slow because I'm also making note cards for all the vocabulary phrases and terms and stuff that they have in the book. And so this is a really cute book. It has to do with a girl who is from a Spanish-speaking family, but hasn't necessarily grown up speaking Spanish. So she's learning all these unique and fun vocabulary phrases when she goes down to Central America to visit a family friend. Her and her family are going a little bit on a little vacation to visit her dad's old friend. And so along the way, you're learning about the place. You're learning about geographical features, what the climate's like, the food, the people, like all sorts of stuff. And so you see, you have a picture and then what that means in Spanish and translated into English, And so we're just really slowly going through it. And so right now, this is the book. And when we're done with this, we're going to pick another book, and then we're just incorporating that into our studies. And we're only doing it like once or twice a week. Okay, guys, I hope that explains it. I hope that made sense. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer it. I really like this. It took me a little bit to get used to this. I'm not going to lie. I'm a very kind of structured person. I like explicit instruction. I like to be told like, hey, we're doing this, this, and this. This is more loosey-goosey, okay? This is like more of a free-flowing one that you kind of do with as you please. And I'm actually kind of digging it. It takes a lot of the pressure off, and I'm just pulling from it what I want. Also, knowing that I'm going to stay here for the entire year is also helpful because there's no rush like, oh, I got to finish this, this, and this. Nope, I'm doing this. If we happen to finish it, I would love to move on to one of the Middle Eastern countries since we're doing ancient civilizations for history this year, So that would be the ultimate goal. But we're just chugging away, going slowly through it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions.